Today's video is sponsored by DungeonFog. Map making has come a long way from sketching out dungeons on graph paper. Now, thanks to DungeonFog, I can save hours of valuable time planning and making my adventures. The cloud-based platform dynamically generates Game Master notes based on maps that are drawn with its online editor. DungeonFog also allows RPG enthusiasts to share maps with friends in the community, invite other players to join their game, and play maps they've created, and print, download, or export maps with GM notes. DungeonFog has over 3,000 preset choices for props, filters, and textures, with the option for GMs to upload their own. So you can create maps that will fit any setting. Fantasy, sci-fi, cyberpunk, whatever your players feel like exploring, you can create. Create, share, play, and print beautiful maps with dynamically generated GM notes. Check out www.dungeonfog.com to start building maps for free. Now what you're here for. How one joke ended our entire campaign. Hi everyone, All Things D&D is back with another story. This story is tough to judge who was wrong, the oversensitive that guy or the party themselves. You be the judge and let us know after listening to this. I started playing Dungeons & Dragons a few months ago as a way to kill time during lockdown. I watched videos about it and it looked like great fun. For a few weeks I'd apply to some games on Roll20 and get no luck. I decided to just make a post as a new player trying to get into D&D. I got a reply from a guy who claimed to be an inexperienced GM. Together we decided to recruit some new players to give people their first taste of D&D. Within 30 minutes we found 3 more players. 2 were new to the game, and to be honest won't be mentioned much. The third player was that guy. He claimed to be a player and GM with years of experience. He wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but we invited him anyway. We decided it might be a good idea to have somebody who knows what they're doing. We informed the party that we were mostly new players and the GM was inexperienced. He thought a party of new players would be good practice for him, so the GM offered to prepare a small one-shot for us that night to get some experience before our actual campaign began. This is where I really have to praise the GM. I made my post on Roll20 at 5 p.m. He replied within minutes, and by 5:30 we had a party. He then prepped this one-shot from scratch in only 2 hours. We all enjoyed it so much that we decided that it would be the first session of our actual campaign. Or so I thought. Immediately after we finished thanking the GM for the fun we had, I got a message from that guy. In this message, he was slamming the GM, claiming that he wasn't sure he was capable of running a long-term campaign. He also criticized one of the other players for being a rogue doing rogue things. The rogue roleplayed as a plague doctor and would charge for healing. I did my best to reassure him that the GM was up to the task. I mean, he had managed to rig together a game for 3 new players in 2 hours, and we all had a blast. I couldn't wait to see what he could do with more time. He seemed satisfied and the campaign continued. That guy rolled a gnome wizard. He was incredibly condescending to me in particular. Whenever there was a puzzle or problem to solve, he would shoot down everybody's suggestions. He would then take those suggestions, throw in a pointless spell, and claim it was a new and fresh idea that just popped into his head. I'll give you an example. One of our players fell into a pit trap with a hatch that closed and shut him in. I suggested using an immovable rod to hold the hatch open and throw a rope down for the trapped player. That guy stated it wouldn't work, and after 5 minutes of trying to get the player out of the pit, that guy cast fly on himself. He then flew over the pit and placed the rod. He acted like he was the smartest man alive while I just bit my tongue. It may seem small, but every little roadblock had to be solved by that guy and his almighty spells. He particularly loved the spell's suggestion. Whenever we had to speak to an NPC, he would cast it. Never mind that we all wanted to roleplay. Need to interrogate a captured orc? Suggestion. An NPC has some information but is reluctant to share? Suggestion. It got to the point that the GM limited how many NPCs would speak common, just to give other players a chance to get involved and use their language proficiencies. On one occasion, he even cast suggestion on my character, just because I disagreed with him. After that, my character warned him that if he ever cast a spell at him again, there would be trouble. Roll forward towards the end of this arc of our campaign. 3 tribes of orcs were on the warpath. Our party was helping a chaotic good necromancer to revive undead dwarves to help fight the orcs. I know it sounds strange, but the GM played it really well. The nearby settlement had no way to defend themselves, as the city in charge of their protection was currently engulfed in civil war. Eventually, we succeeded in defeating the orcs. The first tribe we wiped out when they attacked our easily defended fort. To deal with the second, we sent our fighter to fight their war chief. He beat their leader, who submitted control of the tribe to him. The third and most evil tribe was crushed by our army of undead dwarves and the help of the second tribe. This sadly is where I believe our campaign will end. We returned to the town to celebrate our victory. We were joking and laughing, just having a good time. During the celebrations, that guy's character hooked up with some of the townswomen. When we had finished our rest, the GM had that guy roll a con save. When he failed his save, the GM informed him that his character had an unbearably itchy crotch and had gotten an STD. This was meant to be a throwaway joke, and the chat roared with laughter. That guy exclaimed that his character was first going to pay off some debts and then visit the town's priestess to be healed. We were all still laughing when I chimed in. They were prostitutes. By this point, we were all crying with laughter. That guy's character had tried to seduce NPCs in the past and failed every time. It became a joke that he could only get laid if he paid for it. When he went to the church to be healed, I had my character, who was still a little drunk, follow and shout to the priestess, "It's an STD." She refused to heal him. This is when things turned for the worst. I'll take my share of the blame for this. We were all laughing so much that I didn't realize that guy had stopped. He angrily exclaimed, "I cast Chromatic Orb at the fighter." We were all under the impression he was joking, and when his spell missed, I had my fighter punch him and we carried on laughing. Then he shouted down his mic, "I cast it again." Once again he missed. My character punched him again, and this time it crit. Cue the laughter from the other guys. This whole altercation from the STD to the crit on the punch lasted about 5 minutes. The entire time I couldn't stop laughing. To me it was all one big joke, and I hadn't realized that guy was taking it all personally. After failing his second spell, that guy started talking about planning his revenge, and how I'd be sorry for disrespecting him. This was when I realized he was getting upset. Unfortunately for him, his character had said this in-game in front of my fighter. That night I used my Misty Cloak to gain +3 to stealth, and inspiration to negate the disadvantage from my heavy armor. I stole his wizard's arcane focus and spell components while he slept. When the GM informed that guy that his character awoke to find his items missing, I told him that I had taken them. They would be returned after the wizard had calmed down, and promised to never attack me again. This is when he saw red. He screamed something I couldn't understand, called me a bully, and left the chat. We kinda sat there in an awkward silence for a little while, and decided to end the session. So now I'm sharing this story to try and gain some perspective. In the past, I'd made it clear that if that guy tried to cast spells at me again, there would be repercussions. I let it slide because I thought we were all having a laugh. After his threats, I decided to try to teach him a lesson. I know I don't come off well in this story, but I can honestly say nothing was done with malicious intentions. I'm not too sure where to go from here. I reached out to that guy to try and salvage the situation, but he refuses to cooperate. Was I in the wrong? My group spends most of our time making jokes at other people's expense, but we know each other and it's in good fun. Do you think the party messed up, or was that guy being oversensitive? Please let us know what you think and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, All Things D&D. Our next video will be posted in 3 days, so stay tuned for more amazing Dungeons & Dragons content.